Good day, good evening, ni hao, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this China challenge. So we are doing one race in China, in Beijing. We just released the Beijing landscape to help Chinese pilots join virtual gliding and our big community. So we are going to do one race, maybe another one in about a month from now in China to show you uh, what's like flying in China and around Beijing, and the key points around Beijing you will see today. So let's have a look already at the task of the day waiting for us. It's quite a long task, honestly, but there are quite some stuff to have a look at. So it's going to be pretty nice. We are in the 2D view, and it's the first map, I think, the first landscape that exists for China in the previous Condor version. So we are in Condor version 3. Beijing is northeast of China, as you can see here, and you can see as well the mountains and the areas, what it looks like. It's very flatlands near Beijing and in the city of Beijing going to the sea. And then you have mountains to the northwest. And this is the area where we are going to fly today to celebrate the new lunar year, the Chinese New Year, the year of the horse, as you can see on your screen. So it's a celebrating race for us. We will start northwest of Beijing. So Beijing is the, you can see it on the map, but it's very squared, the areas. You will see it's very very nice. We are starting from the north, and on the north side of Beijing, we are starting from Dingling Airport, and Dingling is actually a place very close to the mountains, where there is a small airstrip, a small airfield, but mainly for helicopters. So not really for general aviation or gliders in Dingling. And all around Dingling, you will see when we are in the 3D views later on that around Dingling you have the Ming Dynasty and a lot of tombs. So they will start from this area. It's a classic Sailplane Grand Prix start with regatta start. Then they will fly to the city center of Beijing, and precisely to the Forbidden City for 38 kilometers. So there are 38 kilometers between the Forbidden City, which is the squared or rectangle thing that you can see right of the turn point here. Right here, exactly. And then we will go to the west to have a look, after having a look at what Beijing looks like, which is very dense. You will see all those buildings and a lot of monuments there in Beijing. We'll go to the west to reach the highest mountains of China, and the highest peak is at 2,882 meters, roughly here. So they will fly quite high at about 3,000 meters in this area. So it's going to be a wind from the southeast to blow on those mountains with pretty nice weather. And then there are some windmills. You will see that in China there are plenty of windmills, especially on the north side. So on some of those mountains, and then on the north north side of those mountains. And then we will fly along the Great Wall of China. So Great Wall of China is in the landscape, and you will see it. And basically between this turn point, so we called it windmills, this turn point 2. So there are 123 kilometers between between Beijing and the Forbidden City to the windmills area. And then we have 34 kilometers to go from those windmills points to Shangjiangku village, which is just north of those crests of those mountains here. And then after this turn point 3, we'll go to the reporting point and fly along the Great Wall of China here, all along the way for 93.5 kilometers. The ceiling is going to go from high to low, from the high mountains to lower hills and lower mountains. And really the ceiling, we created the weather on the ceiling to really go low and low, so that we can fly along the Great Wall of China, but with very strong weather and strong thermals, wide thermals in the area of the Great Wall of China. And then we'll finish in Badaling. There are 10.5 kilometers between the reporting point and Badaling. So Badaling airfield is on the northwest of Beijing again. And so the finish line is straight in the middle of the airstrip compared to what we are used to do. Usually it's at the beginning, and we've put it right in the middle because next to this line you will see a tower, a big tower with the Olympic logo, Olympic symbol, the 5 rings of the Olympic from the IOC right there, because this area hosted the Winter Olympics in 2022. And there are a lot of celebrations in this area every year. It's one of the most visited place around Beijing, near Badaling. So here we are in the FAI Virtual Gliding Challenge in China, starting close to the Ming Tombs, right here. And we are with Benedict Lenk. So this is really northwest of China. Let's have a look. So on the right side of your screen, you have Beijing, and on the left side, then you have the mountains. So this is the track to go to the Forbidden City, and we expect roughly 20 pilots, maybe a little bit more than that, to race with us tonight to celebrate the Lunar New Year, the Chinese New Year 2026. The weather is honestly pretty good. Yankee Juliet Romeo is me from Benedict. Hello, Benedict. Benedict was there during the virtual SGP finals and tried to do some commentaries. It was great to have him next to me. And yeah, you can see need about 20 pilots. There is Norbert Kliss flying as well, and Norbert is doing a live streaming from what I know. 188 Jean, and we are with Norbert here. And we created some animations. As you can see, the overlay is different than usual to celebrate the Chinese New Year. So that's the start line in front of us. So Sailplane Grand Prix starts with maximum 170 kilometers per hour. The maximum start altitude is 1,400 meters, and the race will start in about 11 to 12 minutes from now. The pilot must be on the correct side of the starting line 1 minute before the start. Otherwise, they will face a 2-minute penalty. No right turns in the last 5 minutes before the start line opens, usually. And it's a 30-second penalty per turn if you turn to the right instead of the left in the last 5 minutes. Weather conditions, so it's summer in Condor. It's, I think, 7th of January right now in game. The wind is 25 kilometers per hour from the southeast, 149 degrees. It's really flatland racing first, and then ridge racing. It will go very fast. There is a lot of variation in the thermals in terms of ceiling height, ceiling altitude, and thermal variations for the first part of the race. And then when we will reach the mountains, it will change slightly. We'll have much higher ceilings going to the west when we are reaching the mountains, and pretty good thermals. And then on the Great Wall of China, for the last 2 legs, it will be very fast with very strong thermals. Otherwise, it's much more like moderate, but we still have 300 kilometers to fly roughly, so it's still quite a big race for the pilots tonight. So we expect still to have a fast race. I think in 2 hours it's going to be finished at at least 150 kilometers per hour. Maybe more. Honestly, it might be more. But first, with this start altitude of 1,400 meters maximum, they will need to climb on the first leg going to the Forbidden City, or they might continue and fly for 38 kilometers before taking a thermal, because they're going to have some headwind for the start. So that's it for the task presentation, and the stop join is in 15 seconds. So afterwards, the pilot will not be able to join the server anymore, and then the race will start in 10 minutes afterwards. So they are now discovering the area and the weather around the area. We see Michel Bigan just joined the game. The race starts in 10 minutes. I think Hubert de Lantenne in Hotel Lima Echo. Michel Bigan, I'm going to take the list. I think I might find a list of pilots. Yes, Hubert de Lantenne, Janesh Staff in November. We can see him. Mark Rebuck in 821. Maybe he's here from the US. I see him being registered. There might be Nico Bianchi in 330 with Mikel Moreno in Fox 28. So two pilots from Argentina. Inigo Redin, X-Ray India November from Spain. Maybe as well Alex Olswilder, sorry, from the Netherlands, Alpha Echo X-Ray. Very good pilot, Alex. Yes, he's there. Mark was there. Oh, I see Zbisec. Zulu Bravo Yankee. Gilles Deon in Golf Delta Tango. Amazing. John Stelik in Juliet Delta Sierra. Maybe? Is he here? Juliet Delta Sierra. No, apparently not. So Benedict Lang, we have seen him. Sandor in Lima Sierra. Is Sandor here? Yes. Welcome, Sandor, to the race. Good to see you. Pepe Bianchi in Fox 86, Foxtrot 86. Yes, welcome, Pepe. Is Ryan Woods here in Hotel Golf 1? No, no Ryan Wood apparently. And a few Polish pilots, so Zbisec, Wisław Wielnik and Rob Silesian. Maybe. How many pilots do we have, Jean-David, in the background? 20 pilots exactly, just enough for Sailplane Grand Prix. Perfect. Great to see virtual gliding developing worldwide. Thanks to everyone involved in bringing this stream to the community. Thank you, Plinio. Great to have you here. Let's have a look at the landscape really and what we see around. So we have some mountains, and below the glider, we might see some of the tombs from the Ming. Usually they are shaped with kind of a circle, and then it leads to a castle or to something where to place their the tomb. I mean, there might be one here. There are more to the mountains. Oh, we can see them in the background. Just change the view, and just next to the winglet, actually, to the right wing. Yes, there was. You can see those ones with the circle, and then you have a square. There are several ones on the right, just below the small Chinese lights here. There is one here as well. So those are tombs from the Ming Dynasty, and there are several tombs, and I think each person gets one tomb. You can see one just behind the tail here, and two here exactly. So you can go there in China and visit those tombs. Thank you, Jean-David. Thank you for being here with us tonight to show the race with Gilles Dehan. So they are really flying over this area very close to the mountain north of Beijing. And the race will start in about 5 minutes. Race will start in 5 minutes. So it's a cool race today, but still fast race. And afterwards, we'll go to Beijing, and there will be a lot of things around Beijing. So I will have to take my my map and follow the race like this with you to explain you some stuff from China. So this is what we call here the Valley of Kings, the Ming tombs, and they decided to go for this place to bury the family there because they said that it was perfect feng shui for the emperors. So the Ming dynasty, it was between 1368 and 1644 in China, and it's obviously one of the most famous eras in Chinese history, with an explosion of culture, trade, monumental construction, and those are the ones who built the Forbidden City, which is going to be the first endpoint of our race. And they rebuilt and fortified the Great Wall of China with massive stones, brick structure that we know today and that we can visit today. The third Ming Emperor Yongle moved to the capital of China. Moved the capital of China from Nanjing to Beijing in 1420 to better defend against northern invaders. I think it's probably Mongolian people. And because the capital moved, the emperors needed a new royal burial ground. And Chinese pilots taking part? No, because in China right now, you must add 7 or 8 hours. So it's really during the night now. To have Chinese pilots, we need to fly at around 1 p.m. European time, so 1300. That's the only way to have Chinese pilots. And when we did the Sailplane Grand Prix final in Saint-Auban, it was perfect. It was in the afternoon between 1 and let's say 5 p.m. in the afternoon in France. So it was really perfect for the Chinese people watching because it was in the evening between 8 to midnight around those time. So it was really perfect. So we hesitated between having a race tonight or having it earlier during the day, but we were like, okay, we might not get enough European pilots if they want to try it out. So that's why. The race will start in 1 minute and 52 seconds. And we'll start from the Dingling Tomb. And apparently, from what I see, there are around 13 tombs here, 13 emperors buried in this area. So it's pretty impressive, honestly. The race will start in 1 minute, and the pilots are now getting ready to fly towards the Forbidden City. Maximum speed 170 kilometers per hour. They're quite far away. And they are starting to come back. Norbert Kies is in a good position. And the start will be really key because we are in flatland and you need to find the best energy lines and the best cloud streets to fly towards the turn point. Ten seconds before the start. Welcome to the China Challenge. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. The race is on from the Ming tombs in China, north of Beijing. And they are leaving the tombs of the Ming emperors, flying south straight to the palace where those very emperors lived and ruled the Forbidden City. Welcome to Beijing, welcome to China. Happy Chinese New Year, everyone. And let's race now for 300 kilometers on this new landscape. Nico Bianchi in 330 leading the pack, followed by Pepe Bianchi and Alex from the Netherlands. Good start, pretty good start. And on another side, we have Hubert de Lantaine in Hotel Lima Echo with Zbisiek, Benedict. We got 8-2-1 as well. They are flying the GS3 and we adapted the rules for wing loading tonight. It's the first time that we have upgraded it for virtual SJP rules. So tonight we increased it by 1 point. It's 51 kilogram per meter square to reflect the new rules in real life. We have the AS33. Awesome. I was about to ask if we had more gliders than the GS3. It was crazy. If you follow the virtual gliding, Virtual Sailplane Grand Prix finals, we only had GS3s during the finals, which we really did not expect it to have. We thought we would see AS33 or Ventus 3 or GS1, but they all flew in the GS3. That's a pretty nice cloud street that we see. Pretty nice cloud street. And you can really see where the wind is coming from, really from the southeast here. So that's good. That's good. I'm gonna get closer to you. Mark Rebuck from the United States flying with us today. There is a lot of push and pull, I think. And so the weather is not, there's a lot of variation in this area. So they need to find the best lift if they want to climb or stop to climb. So with the cloud street that we have here, they might continue and not even have to stop. It might not even be necessary to stop. So it will be interesting. We are with the live view POV with Norbert Kiss in Charlie November, and he's behind Nico Bianchi, Pepe, Alex, Janesh Staff, and they will soon reach a small airfield. Which is not that small, honestly. Norbert Kiss. So this is a runway used for military mainly. So there are a lot of transport aviation on that. So not fighters jets, but another fleet from Chinese Air Force in this on this airfield north of Beijing in Chaizen. Right here, and you can see the aircraft aligned on the ground. A small military airfield north of Beijing. Then there is a reservoir, this small water field. The Chai Reservoir is the name. And we'll continue to the south to reach the first suburbs of Beijing. Wilongan, Chisanki, and then Dongchen. Inigo Redin from Spain is flying with them on the GS3, with Nico, with Yannis, with Alex, with Sandor. It will be interesting to see which Cloud Street is the best, and we can see a split already. Alex keeps pushing on the initial Cloud Street, and the other ones are joining. Hubert de Lantaigne and Bisech and Benedict, and I think it was a good choice from Hubert, because they will reach from below. They will merge with the group that started on the west part of the track from below. Probably Hubert is at 1,323, so he didn't lose any altitude with this Cloud Street so far, because the maximum start height was 1,400 meters, so it's pretty good. They've been able to fly at around 180 kilometers per hour. It's ground speed, so around 200 kilometers per hour indicated airspeed. That's pretty nice. And we can see Bisech behind, and let's see, and yes, obviously they are below. They are below, so it was not the best option taken by the group on the right side, on the east side of the track with Nico Bianchi. They are at least 100 to 200 meters below. I think 200 meters below. This was a really, really good Cloud Street. Well done, Hubert. Very good choice. Can we have a look at what's in front of them, please? And you have the average speed on your left, almost 160 for Hubert. And we'll see some monuments soon. So I will try not to miss the most particular ones, the bigger ones. And you can see that it's starting to become dense as we are reaching the first suburbs of Beijing with Condor here. So this is something we could not do, obviously, in real life, flying into Beijing. In this area, there are a lot of huge airports, so we are not overflying any very big airport today. Because the capital airport, the main airport, is on northeast of Beijing, where we will not fly today, but they are really huge, and they are well made in the simulator in Condor on the landscape. There are around, I think, around 10 different airfields from where you can start flying in this new landscape in Beijing. There is a great one for general aviation in northeast, which is called, let me find it again, which is called, not easy with my little map. to find everything. No. I'm gonna start Condor again. It starts with an M. This is a golf area below Benedict here. Below the tail, you can see some places to do some golf in China, and you can see as well big suburban areas, very dense areas. Miyun, yeah, the airfield of Miyun, which is quite nice. So Miyun is really northeast of China, of Beijing, sorry, for about, I would say 60 kilometers. And that's 40 kilometers away from the main airport. And that's a good airfield for general aviation. But in our opinion, because we made some research, we think probably the best airfield for general aviation or to have a gliding contest one day is Badaling, where we will land later on for several reasons. The stadium you can see now, stadium of Beijing, but let me have more information for you on that. And this is where, so this is the National Omnisport Stadium of Beijing and the National Stadium of Beijing. So there are several stadiums in this area. There is as well the water sports stadium next to it. So a huge area here, really dedicated to competitions, sports contests, and so on, for all sports. Just close to the Beijing Nyanyang Temple. That's close to the National Stadium of Beijing. So there are about, I would say, let me have a look, 1, 2, 3, around 10 to 15 different stadiums here for different sports in this area. And we are flying south at a great speed to reach the Forbidden City. You see the all those towers, which is really the main area for big companies, just like the city in London. So that is east of Beijing here. And Benedict is flying very fast to Forbidden City, and no one has stopped, I think, so far. This is the view. Thank you. Hubert de Lantaigne as well coming in, 1,225. Sebastian, did you already flew there? Yes and no. Very high in the Airbus. So I flew over Beijing several times. I will fly again over Beijing in 2 weeks from now, going to Seoul in South Korea. And we usually fly over Beijing and over Badaling and over the area where we're flying now. And this is the Forbidden City. We are reaching turn point 1. So it was the Chinese imperial palace from the Ming dynasty all the way to the end of the Qing dynasty. So from 1420 to 1912. And it was the home of 24 different emperors of China. Well done, Benedict. Well done, Hubert. Bisech as well. You are the first ones to reach turn point 1. And why do we call it the Forbidden City? Do you have any guess? Hubert is flying towards turn point 2, and we have 123 kilometers to go there. So it's called the Forbidden City because it's strictly forbidden for ordinary people, for you and I to enter. That's why. So before, at least before modern age, no one could enter or leave without the emperor explicit permission. And if you did, the punishment was severe. So that's why we call it the Forbidden City. The colors are really nice, and the roof, it's obviously red and yellow or gold, just like the Chinese flag. Nice average speed, and I think Gilles Dehan and Rob stopped with around 95 kilometers per hour. Can we have a view of the Forbidden City again, please, and the buildings around with the pilots that are behind? I think about 821, Nico Bianchi, Norbert Kiss, thank you. Can you remove the turn point for a few seconds, please, Jean-David, so that we can have a look at the thank you, really at the landscape here. There is as well so that's not far from Tiananmen, which is just next to the Forbidden City, by the way. That's not easy to give all the infos with Google Maps as well. I don't know if you are following us as well and trying to follow it with a map next to you, because a lot of information in Asia, so in China, in South Korea, North Korea, and so on, a lot of informations are wrong, are not correct in Google Maps. So it's very not easy to follow it. But the infos are correct if you have a local map supplier usually. So that's why it's not easy to find the names of the different monuments and so on. And this looks like a TV tower or a tower view that you have in several countries. Let me try to find the name. Yeah, this is Central Television Tower. That's the name. Indeed. I was not wrong on this one. I'm going to take my phone as well to see if I have a better map on this one. So we are flying to the west now. You can see how dense Beijing is, and the television tower of Beijing right here, just below Norbert. Some pilots didn't stop. Alex is flying to the mountains. And the pilots are flying fast, very fast. Very fast. Up, up, up. Do we still have someone next to the Forbidden City or next to the turn point 1? With the last one, please, to have a view again. Thank you. And Gilles Dehan will be joining. Has he joined? Oh no, he's really far behind. Can we have a view at Rob, please? Or Yanesh? Yeah, Yanesh is good. Let's have a look below. I think he's just above the Forbidden City, right? Oh no, he's just above the TV tower. So maybe we can have a look at Inigo, and Inigo is really joining the. So the Forbidden City is the square, huge square thing that you have on my left here. Then right here is the National Center of Arts and Spectacle, so theater, let's say. Then Tiananmen Square is just south of the Forbidden City. It's the big square, the big place that you see to my left, right here. This is Tiananmen Square, and then next to it you have the let's say National Assembly of the people, and then on the other side the National Museum of China. That's better on the phone with Apple Plan than with Google Maps if you want to follow it. And then I have Tiananmen, Monument to the People's Heroes, Beijing Working People's Culture Palace, Hall of Supreme Harmony, Taygate. And that's it. For me, I just have this. I don't find anything else. And there is obviously huge lakes next to it, which is quite nice. Then we have, this is next to the TV tower is the small lakes with a park that is called Park Yu Yuantan. It seems quite interesting as well. Pretty nice. I think you can do a lot of activities here, small boats, maybe a place to visit as well. Yeah, lots of boats right here next to the TV tower. And there is as well this thing. That's the West Military Museum Road that we see, and then next to it there is a military museum of Revolution of the People of China next to it, just below Inigo right now. Interesting views. We are really discovering Beijing together now. I don't know anything about Beijing. I'm really looking forward to visit it, honestly, because it's very interesting culturally. Huge culture. Maxim Serafimovich in Mike 5, and we are flying across another airfield that we have in Condor. I think this one we have it, and it's Xiyao. And let me have a look if it's I think it's a private aviation airfield. I'm trying to zoom to see if I can see some planes. I see mainly, I think, private aviation. It should be private aviation airport from kind of Le Bourget in Paris, kind of the same. Xijao Airport. They say it's military airport on Wikipedia, so we learn about it. It was also used by charter flights located in Haidian district. It was built, so the airport was built in 1938 by the Japanese army during the Second Sino-Japanese War, and its ownership was transferred to the nationalist government of China at the time after the surrender of Japan in 1945. And then since 1949, it's North China Aviation Bureau of the People's Liberation Army that took over the management of the Chijiao airport. Interesting. So that's northwest of Beijing, mainly west. And it's 30 kilometers away from the Beijing Capital Airport and 13 kilometers away from the city center. And now we are flying to the west on a long leg. We've flown more than 50 kilometers out of 300 kilometers so far. And we're with Benedict, and they are stopping in a, Benedict is stopping in a good thermal. And when we reach the first mountains that we have behind, then we will switch from the base weather to the mountains weather setting. The wind speed will be 20 kilometers per hour instead of 25, and the direction is mostly the same, but the ceiling will be 2,300 meters above ground level, which is quite high. It will be around 3,000 meters of ceiling afterwards. No, normal width, normal activity, high flat activity, and streeting is moderate. The streeting was high on the first leg with the wind, and now it's going to be moderate. And they will have to stop now to fly towards the west because the clouds are aligned with the wind coming from the southwest, so going to the northeast, and they fly to the west. So they will jump from Cloud Street to Cloud Street like this. So they will have to stop from time to time. So that's an increase, just to give you an idea. It's an increase of more than 600, more of 600 meters, sorry, of ceiling between the base weather setting and the mountains weather setting that we will have. So a huge increase in ceiling, in altitude for the pilots. Nico Bianchi from Argentina. Nico did a very good world final of the Virtual Sailplane Grand Prix a few weeks ago. He was very consistent. Huge performance for him. Let's continue, and they are reaching the first mountains, the first hills, and the ceiling is going to be higher, going to be much higher. They will love it. They are really north of track, as you can see. It looks good. You can see Nico pulling slightly, waiting to really feel the best part of the thermal air. And turning to the left. Sbicech and Hulbert are on a more direct route. So stay with us to watch the race unfolding with the Great Wall of China on the third or fourth leg. You will not see the Great Wall yet. We are going to the west to reach the highest peaks near Beijing, the northwest of Beijing, so that they see what really the area looks like for them. It's really a race to discover this landscape and the area. And you can see that the hills, the mountains are really different here, the small hills, from what we have in Europe or in the Alps. You still have some nice ridges, but you clearly see a difference in the way that those ridges have been constructed or built over time. by nature. It's very, very different. You can see a lot of shadows as well. This is the 2D view and where we are now. So we are leaving the city and Beijing area, what we could not do in real life. It was really fast. We didn't have enough time to discuss everything. Maybe I should have drawn something more to the southeast to see Beijing twice, but I wanted to have the pilots try the highest peaks of this landscape. I wanted them to do that, to have a look at what it was, because those mountains you will see are similar to what we can have sometimes in the Alps. Those small hills are not, but the highest mountains are much more similar to what we have in Europe. So they can see that, try it out, and hopefully as well the European pilots, and not only, all the pilots, and not only the pilots from China, will have a chance to discover the area, and maybe if they like it, they can come back and do other races here. We have created already a loop challenge for China around the Great Wall of China, starting and finishing from Badaling, where we will end up the race tonight. We will see if we release it. We've planned it so far for the 20th of March, but we will see if we can do the live streaming or not. So either we just have the race 20th of March, no live streaming, or we change it to another date, because so far it might not work for the 20th of March. But we have a flight plan ready for another challenge in China in the coming weeks anyway, to continue to discover the country and this area and fly over the Great Wall of China, because it's really really fun and really cool to do. Matthews Smuda and Mike Zulu from Poland, I suppose. Yes, exactly. Pilots are flying fast, roughly 190 kilometers per hour, but not that fast. They could fly faster, but they are still low, and you can see they are reaching higher ceilings. And I think Spisech will be the first one to have the opportunity to fly very high, because the ceiling is much higher now. And look at those hills. That's super nice. The wind is blowing well against those ridges, and we can get good energy. Sorry. Let's go. Research. You can get a good one now. Let's see. And now you can see it's increasing, and there will be something here. Obviously, it was the best place to find a thermal. You can see the wind, kind of a cone shape, blowing towards the clouds, towards the cumulus. It's amazing dynamic thermal. Very good thermal, very good energy in this area. And it's obviously the best place to take a thermal here. Look at that. He's really enjoying 8-1. Mark Rebuck from the US, really enjoying the area and climbing. Nico Bianchi much higher here. Well done, Nico. So we are flying over the Western Hills of Xishan. So these are the mountains that form the western shield of Beijing. And historically, these hills were dotted with ancient temples and served as a retreat for the emperors trying to escape the summer heat of the city of Beijing. And now the pilots are transitioning from the urban thermals, as you can see, generated by the hot concrete of the city, into true mountain soaring now, where they find the best thermals. Thank you, Plinio, for subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much. Subscribing on Twitch. You can subscribe with your Amazon Prime account as well if you're following us. Don't hesitate if you have questions about anything about China, about this race, about the Chinese New Year or whatever. We'll try to answer any questions that you have about gliding, about how to join us or to try virtual gliding. So the pilots now they need to gain enough altitude over the first hills to safely connect with the highest lines of ridges that we will have and fly above the windmills that we will see in a few minutes. Did they cross the Yongding River? I'm gonna have a look. Yongding River. Yes, they crossed the Yongding River already. We didn't have time to talk about it. Actually, all the water flow, every small river that you see is going towards this big Yongding River that is west of Beijing. It's really, really big. Honestly, really big. Going there. No, so it's not this one. This is really, those are small rivers connecting to the main ones west of Beijing, but it's much more closer to Beijing than where we are now. The pilots are flying too fast to be able to discuss about all of this. And I think as well, so the highest peak should be Mount Dongling. Yeah, Dongling Mountain. That's where we're gonna fly later on. This is 2,300 meters, and they will fly to even highest peaks to Mount Xiaowutai, 2,882 meters. That's where we are heading. The highest peak, highest peak. You can see it probably in the background already, right here. Dongling Mountain. And Hubert de Lantagne, sorry, is flying fast. And they are all flying actually on the north side of the track, really trying to reach the highest mountains already. So they are going to the Dongling mountain. So the highest peaks very close to Beijing, 2,300 meters. That will be the aim. And then they will jump to the west towards the Mount Qiaowutai at 2,882 meters. Let's have a look from the inside. And you can see the shape of the cumulus clouds. They are not that good. They are okay, but not that good from below. You can see Norbert trying to find the best lift. Variometer is at about 1 meter per second, sometimes 2. And is under a good line of cumulus, but it's not easy to find the best thermal so far. He will continue and he might find something very nice. The activity is very high, so cumulus are appearing, disappearing. It's not very stable. So some might find a good thermal, others might not find it 10 minutes later. So they need to be very clever in their move and be very careful when they find a good one to stop. Might be very interesting for them to fly. You can really see that's different from what we have usually. The shape of the hills of the mountains are very, very, very different from what we have in Europe. So that must be pretty cool for the pilots. I said that we did not really have a map in China before, but we did one race in China in Condor 2, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. But it was a very, very basic landscape, and it was not in Beijing. It was in another area of China. It was interesting at the time as well, because we could see that the landscape was very different from what we have in Europe or in the US or Southern America. So yeah, but this is a special landscape that we created with most people working for the creation of landscape in Condor, and especially with Michel, who's made a lot of landscape for the Virtual Sailplane Grand Prix. And this is really made for the Chinese pilot and the Chinese community to join virtual gliding and join Condor, because Condor 3 was not accessible in China before, or it was difficult to access and buy a Condor in China, and now it's going to be sold in China. So that's why we have created this new landscape, which is quite huge, honestly, so that the Chinese pilot can at least have a place where to fly, where to learn to fly in their country. I think everyone likes to have that. I think about Arne Martin Gutler, who created the landscape in Norway. I hope, and I think we're going to have a race in Norway soon at some point, because it's a really nice landscape that he created. And he did that because there was no landscape in Norway, and Arne Martin is from Norway. So that's why everyone wants to have a good landscape. We released as well an update, a new landscape for Boras in Sweden. We created for the virtual SGP landscape in Boras in 2021 or 22. I think 21, maybe 22. I don't remember. And it was for Condor 2, and it's been upgraded to Condor 3 now. So the Swedish pilots are very, very happy. They can use now the landscape in their gliding clubs. There are some landscapes otherwise in Asia, in Japan, because there is a nice community, gliding community in Japan. I don't think there is one in South Korea, because usually in Asia, the gliding schools are just university schools, and we discussed that between the finals of the VSGP, because we were with Yuki Kazama and Ukyo Tsutsumi, and they said that they did gliding before, but only in university. Nico Bianchi. So if you go to condor.club, which is our scoring partner, you can click on landscape, then landscape map, and find all the landscapes of Condor. So you have Beijing that you can download and try. And for Japan, you have Japan Kyushu that was released on the 2nd of December, which looks nice, quite a lot of airfields here. And there is as well the Japan Shikoku 3. And those seems to be islands. Both of them. So there still needs to be one. Yeah, those are the islands to the west-southwest of Japan. Otherwise, there is only West Nepal in Asia. So that's between India and China, West Nepal. That's it, I think. There is no landscape for India and no landscape for the other countries of Asia. Then we have in Oceania, New Zealand, and a few landscape in Australia, sorry. We have Réunion in the on the Réunion Island, French island in the Indian Ocean. We have Limpopo in South Africa. I think that's close to Johannesburg. Yeah, there are 53 airfields on this one. There's not much for Africa, honestly, apart this one. West Yemen. I don't know who created West Yemen. Segi. Okay, interesting. Because that seems very, very desertic. Then there are a lot of landscape in Argentina and Chile, mostly on the Andes, West Patagonia, one in Lima, Peru. Nothing in Mexico on Condor tree. For the US, we have Colorado, Raleigh, then going north to Canada, Allegheny Ridges, Lake Placid. Yeah, so still a lot of landscape to be created and added in Condor tree, but you can convert landscape from Condor 2 to Condor 3, and Condor 2 has added a lot more landscape. Obviously, it takes more time to create new landscapes. And now the pilots are flying at more than 2,500 meters with Janusz staff, reaching pretty good height and nice cloud streets coming in, nice ridges as well. Mark Rebuck, can we have a 2D view, please, to have a look at where we are? So we are more than halfway through the second leg between Beijing and what we call turn point 2 windmills. They have flown less than 150 kilometers. I think it should be around 130, I would say, looking at it like this, but we'll see when we go back in game. Thank you, Jean-David. So they have reached the first mountain. So the maximum altitude is maximum highest peak is 2,300 meters in this area, and then only even less, because we could see Dongling. Dongling is more up to the north. To the north, yeah, Dongling Chan. You have it, and this one is 2,300 meters. And we're gonna go to Dongtai to 2,882 meters to the west. Still a long way to go. Well, not that long, roughly 80 kilometers to go to Dongtai. So it's nice. Thank you, Jean-David. Back with Mark. Robert, do you have any questions? I need to have a look quickly at the chat as well. $117 kilometers flown by Hubert de Lantaigne, Hotel Lima Echo. out of 300. Yeah, I've seen a few comments. Thank you for the @sweb, Plinio. Et Hugo, Netherlands mentioned. Yeah, when we have pilots from the Netherlands, we say it. So we are always happy to have a few from the Netherlands. What is the size of the landscape? From Sebastian. Let me tell you that in a second. I'm gonna give you the link as well in the chat. So the size of the landscape is, so the surface first is 63,037 kilometers square. So that's 288 kilometers per 219 kilometers. The biggest FAI triangle you can do is 848 kilometers. So that's quite big. There's been already 141 hours flown on the landscape. Almost 200 downloads of the landscape, so 200 people trying the landscape. The size of the landscape uncompressed for your computers is 11.35 gigabytes, so less than 12 gigabytes. So that's not a lot compared to all of the other landscapes that we have. And it's a very high quality landscape. I mean, made by the best landscape creators of Condor. The height record was made by Condor that we have in Lima Sierra flying with us today. 10,731 meters. And longest flight so far was 2 hours by Tevna, French pilot. Longest flight in distance was Condor with 252, and this is going to be beaten by all of them tonight with 298, 92 kilometers, 99, sorry, 98 and 99. And here is the link to download the new landscape. And you know, we had questions, by the way, talking about landscape when we had the virtual SGP about why we were having this type of format and why we were only racing in Europe in the Slovenia 3 landscape. And the main reason was first because we did not have any landscape ready for the events of the Sailplane Grand Prix in real life as well. Because in Condor 2 we had a landscape for each Grand Prix. So we had a week race at the same time or the week after or the week before any Sailplane Grand Prix. But now we didn't have anything ready, no landscape ready. So you need to have something else. And then we had the opportunity with the IOC to create a bid for virtual gliding to be in the Olympic esports game. So then we had to comply with a lot of rules, regulations dictated by the IOC to test a new format, and that's how we ended up by having this virtual Sailplane Grand Prix finals with a cutoff and a one-shot final at the end of the week. And we continue towards the turn point 2 to the windmills. And the total of distance flown to reach the windmills will be, let me check, the task of the day. Um, 40. Yeah, 160. So they are 40 kilometers away. Well, Janek is 40 kilometers away from the windmills, and Nico is 30 kilometers away from the windmills. I'm gonna leave you for a few minutes, and I will come back afterwards So you can keep watching the race with Nico and the windmills here in the background, and I'll come back in a few minutes. Ask any questions in the meantime, and I will answer them. See you in a few seconds. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. How are you doing, everyone? Back in the race. Where is the speaker? Is left. Water is important. Bisset Kos from Poland. Very good pilot. Nico Bianchi. Alpha Echo Echo. I don't remember the name. I'm gonna have to have a look. Alpha Echo Echo. Alexander Ehrlich. Ehrlich. Well done, Alexander. Looks like a very good thermal. More than 5 meters per second. Stable, steady. Very good. Very, very good. And he's leading the race, Alexander. He's leading the race. Looking forward to see the Great Wall of China and to reach the highest peaks, the highest mountains here. It's really a long way in those hills. This is very, very unusual, very different from what we see usually. So I flew, I think 3 or 4 times over Beijing. I think, and it's very early in the morning every time I fly to over Beijing, because that's the flight to go to Seoul. So I think it's about, yeah, it's about 8 on between 6 or 8 in the morning. So it's difficult to see if you can get very good flight weather conditions for gliding. You can see some haze, some fog sometimes, so that's more in the city of Beijing. But to the north part where Badaling is, so the airfield where we will be, it's often quite clear and it looks good. And once I've seen some wind blowing from the south of east, just like we have now, and there were some waves and some lenticular clouds at about 6,000 meters, probably. So you can probably get some waves in this area. And as well, there is at least one pilot from China on Wiglide. So you can find him on Wiglide, the guy, and he's flying actually northeast of Beijing. So instead of flying near Badaling, where we'll be, he's flying on an old airfield that is not used anymore, and he's taking off from this airfield. They are taking off with Vilga. So that's an aircraft that you find as well in Lithuania, in Russia, Poland, probably in the eastern countries. Let's say Sovietic aircraft. They start, so they take off with a tow, Vilga tow, and they fly. And I think the guy has got an ASW20 flying in China, and he flies 300 kilometers, 500 kilometers north of Beijing. So I mean, it's possible to do gliding. It might only be on some days. I have no idea about the rules, regulations in China to do gliding yet. So yeah, gliding is possible in China. Gliding is really possible. Longfei Yang, and I think, yeah, Longfei is part of the China Soaring project with whom we are working to develop gliding in China, and they are taking off from Fengning Air Base. It's got a Taurus. So Taurus is a self-launcher aircraft. It's a two-seater in Taurus, and it's flying as well in SW20. You can go on wiglide.org if you want to have a look. And on top, you click on flights, and then you can select a region, whatever. You go on China, and you will find Longfei. And when you find Longfei, you will find some pictures. He shows some pictures of his flights, and then you can click, and you will see on his Taurus what it looks like on the northeast of China to fly in a glider. That's quite cool. But Fengning Air Base seems to be I don't know how I think in English, I don't know, it's disaffected, like in French we say désaffecté, but let me check. Like not active. Yeah, disaffected, I think. Yeah, disaffected airfield. Because I look at Google Maps and plans and so on, and the airfield doesn't look really good. Doesn't seems to be maintained by the military people of China. But yeah, he's flying quite some long flights, so it's cool. So when I go to Beijing, which is not yet, but one day I'll go, I'll probably ask to meet him or to have a look or fly there in glider, because not a lot of pilots have been able to do that. And hopefully we can fly above the Great Wall of China as well. Would be nice. Mark Rebuck from the USA. is joining turn point 2. I tried to set the turn point 2 next to the windmills. You will see the windmills afterwards. They are all on the mountains. You will see the windmills. It's really one windmill, another one, another one, another one. It's really funny to see. You can even fly in between. But after turning the turn point here, they should not fly directly with the windmill, but go to the ridge that is on the right. More on the right, next to 821, you will see. Nico Bianchi. Well done, Nico. Yeah, and I see on Wig Light, so Long Fei, he scored, well, he's flown 13,000, well, let's say 14,000 kilometers. So quite some kilometers for almost 200 hours on Wig Light. So, and that's only what is posted on Wig Light, so that's cool. And that's from 2021 to 2025. And usually flies between, yeah, kind of like in Europe from March to October are his flights. So that's cool. And we can start to see the windmills in the background. There are 2,200 meters, but you think that they are really low compared to the area. And there is Mark from the USA reaching turn point 2. Well done, Mark. Well done. 2,000 meters. Awesome. Awesome. Nico Bianchi neck to neck with Alpha Echo Echo with Alexander Ehrlich. Well done. And now we are flying for 33.6 kilometers to Shanjiangkou village, which is north of the highest peak. It's in the valley just after the highest peak. So they will need to go to the valley and then come back to the mountains probably. Those are the windmills. You can see them. There they are. It's the gift for the pilots. 123 kilometers of the way from Beijing to see some windmills. cost you 50 minutes to do that. And now the race is going to be very fast to go to the finish line, because they will still have a nice mountain, very nice mountain ridge to go to the turn point now, and then still very high ceiling and accelerate towards the Great Wall of China and towards the finish line. And the main pack is joining the turn point 2. Well done. And Alexander is stopping with Mark and with Nico. They are all stopping in the area. Delta X-ray is lower. Seems to be much lower, Delta X-ray. Two meters per second. That's not that nice. It doesn't seem easy. And he's on the other side, on the wrong side, on the lee side, because the wind is blowing from the right, from the southeast. So it's not that great for him. But we will see. Maybe the thermal is better placed here. Nico in a pit stop, in a thermal, in a nice column of rising air. 2,500 meters for Nico, and it's something middle. It's not that great. It's moderate thermal, 2.8 meters per second. Yeah, I agree, Sebastian. They are low. They seem to be low. They are not low. They're 2,500 meters, but compared to the hills, mountains around that are quite flat, you can see west of this track of our task. It seems to be very flat. So, oh, you cannot see me. Cannot see me. I disappeared. Oh, better. Nico, Bianchi, next to the windmills, and I think he will find something great here. He's right to leave. It might be a risk to leave, but 250 kilometers, he will pull, sorry. He will pull fast when he finds something. You can see a small village on the mountain close to the windmill. Very funny. We have some small village like this in France, obviously, as well, in the small hills mountains. And Nico is trying something. He was pulling. There seems to be something. Yeah, Red Bull race between the windmills. We can do that on Slovenia 3 as well. There is one area where you can do that. Look at all of those windmills. And it's very significant. Like, there are not that much windmills in China, but on some areas like this, you can find hundreds of windmills. It's very funny to see it, honestly. And even from 12 kilometers of altitude, you can see the windmills, because they are just like in Spain. It's the same. They are on top of the mountains. We don't have this in France. In France, for example, all the windmills are in flatlands or next to the sea or at sea. But here in China, just like in South Spain, next to Malaga, you have a lot of windmills on top of the hills or mountains, which seems to be the best usage you can do of it, probably, where the wind is blowing. So thank you, GDEX, for your Prime. Let me have a look if I can. Can I subscribe myself as well? I'm gonna see if I can subscribe. I'm going to log in. Let's do it together. Let's do it together, everyone. Go to login. Login to Twitch, and you log in. Security code. Let's find the security code. Got it? Okay. I'm in. And then I can click, I'm on the live of Twitch, and then I have FAI Virtual Gliding, gift a sub or subscribe or resubscribe. I will click on resubscribe because I've done it already. And then when I click on subscribe, there is a square written use Prime sub instead of subscribe for 4.99 euros. You click on use Prime sub and it's free. And free 1 month subscribe with Prime. I do it. And I've subscribed. It's your 4-month sub anniversary. Yeah, completely forgot to do it before. So here's your Prime to ourselves. Thank you if you can do the same. And the pilots are 2,900 meters. That's what we said, 3,000 meters in the area. And they will fly fast towards Changjiangkou. And there will be several options to go there. Do you follow the ridge or do you fly straight to Changjiangkou? It will be interesting to see. Prime badge, blah, blah, blah. Share. Ah, and then I can share I've subscribed. Yeah, it's me. Follow me on Twitch. And Hubert, the Lanterne is pulling 2,100 meters. It seems to be low compared to Janus, to Zbisec, to Mark. And we have a bot running on Twitch, by the way. Maybe he's running like too regularly. I think every 15 minutes he's sending a message to say, if you want to join us, you can buy Condor Soaring. And he gives you the link to how to buy Condor on virtualgliding.fa.org. Tell us if it's too much or not. Oh, there is a hype train on Twitch. There is a hype train. You need to sub, gift, or cheer to level up. So you have 4 minutes left, and we are level 1. So we need someone to subscribe with Amazon or without Amazon Prime, or to give something to continue the hype train. We should have done that during the world final. We had with so many people watching, but I forgot to do it at the time. Question: yeah, is there a reply of this flight on FAI servers? I don't know. Ask Sebastian. Sebastian, can you reply? I think I guess there will be one. I think there is one already scheduled, but I don't have the info right now. Sebastian will tell. I think he has scheduled it already, but I don't know if it's at the same time every day or if it's scheduled every 2 hours, running continuously, or 24 hours. So if you have the info, Sebastian, you can tell us. The Bisech costs 2,100 meters to Xianjianku village. Let's go with Alexander, Erlich, and Nico Bianchi. Nico is stopping again. Really? Why are you stopping, Nico? Just fly fast, straight. Oh yeah, okay, I see the variometer now. but you could have followed the ridge as well. Yeah, but it's so nice that they're still low compared to the ceiling now. They're at least 3,300 meters. I think 3,300 meters is something we can guess for the ceiling now. So this is the highest peak on the right, just below the Chinese lamp, right here, 2,882 meters. 2,882 meters. It's the highest peak northwest of Beijing that we have in the landscape here. Otherwise, the highest peaks are to the west, obviously near the Himalaya and near the Gobi Desert. They are very high peaks, more than 5,000, 6,000 meters. It's crazy there. Let me find the highest peak in China. Yeah, obviously Everest 8,848, then K2 8,600 meters, Lot's 8,500 meters, Makalu. But I want to see the ones that are in Gobi, near Gobi Desert, really to the west, because it's too easy to talk about the Everest. The Kulun Mountains, almost 7,000 meters. You know, we could create, or we could create a landscape in with the Everest as well, but then you wonder, is it realistic to do that? Only 2 or 3, only very few pilots have flown next to the Everest, but you don't fly to 10 kilometers there. You need to have a glider fully equipped that is very different to the glider we are using normally. So you could do that, but yeah, I think the Gobi Desert otherwise is very interesting. Nico Bianchi is pulling very hard, and yeah, obviously this is the best area right here. It's the best. Look at the variometer. Wind blowing, highest peak of the landscape. Amazing. So Nico leading the race, and then we have Rob behind, but that's very good, Rob. Very good. Keep going. Condor in Lima Sierra, 1900 meters. Very good as well. And then behind, yeah, Mark Rebook behind Nico. That's good, guys. That's good. Continue to fly at your pace and to discover the landscape. A race is a race, but there is nothing to win. It's just to discover China and the landscape of Beijing tonight. Yeah, Kilian Mountains. Tick, 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 tick. Mm-hmm. And we see Shanjianku village, which is just left of the turn point, but it was difficult for me to place it precisely. Okay, so be kind with me. Because on Condor, on the task setting tool, if you don't have the turn point precisely already set, you need to kind of guess where it is. So I had the map, I had everything to try to set the turn point, but you cannot insert coordinate directly when you pin on the map. So this is the village of Chanjianku right here. And this is the valley leading to Badaling, leading to the finish line. There's plenty of space here to fly, to organize gliding contest maybe someday. Well done, Nico. Followed by Alexander Ehrlich. And look at the view. Look at those mountains going from almost 3,000 meters to the ground in Chanjianku to almost zero there. That's a huge difference. Looks a bit like some of the mountains you can find in the US from here, like in Nephi. If you've flown on Nephi in Condor 2, Nephi landscape, you had really flat lands like this, and then very high peaks going up to 2,500 meters like this, but not green, not as green as what we see here. And from above, it's honestly green like this. But yeah, obviously in winter, it's more like in Europe, more brown, gray, but still very green. So now we are going to the reporting point, and we are going to fly above the Great Wall of China. So the Great Wall only starts halfway through this lake, and we have 93.5 kilometers to do. So in about 45 to 50 kilometers, we will see the first bit of the Great Wall of China. And then Badaling, you will see, stay until the end. The airport is really well made in Badaling with the Olympic symbols, the Olympic rings on top of the control tower of Badaling, which is very, very high. And it's really the same in real life. So it's very very nice to have it, and we'll be really impressed to see it, honestly. With Maxim Serafimovic. I think, let me check the competitors, but I think Maxim is Russian. I think we've seen Maxim a few years ago. Mach 5. Well, I see a German flag, so maybe not. Mach 5. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, because I wanted to talk about the Russians as well, because we've had Russians flying before you see the war in Ukraine, but after that, because the IOC decided that the Russian were excluded and Belarusian, then we had to exclude as well them from the official FAI events. The FAI follows IOC guidelines. Basically, it's not difficult. Like the politics is the same as the IOC. So if the IOC ban or unban any nation, then we follow that. It's very clear, and there is no discussion about anything. So that's good. We are not taking any decision actually on that. So I think in Milano it's still the same. Like the Russian, at least they need to fly under another flag or white flag, and then when they will be back, they will be able to fly. Well, they will be allowed. Sorry, they will be able to fly again under Russian flag for FAI events, I guess. Alex is on fourth place. Sorry, Janusz Staff is on third place. And now they are flying fast, still very high ceiling, and then you will see a drop. They will go from 3,300 meters to something like 2,000 meters or so. It's really very fun to see. Still 14 pilots in the race. Some of them have been disconnected. They did not give up or whatever. They've been disconnected from the race, so they continue it. They continue, the race on their own, offline, and then they can send their flight track to Condor.club. I think we are 30 minutes away from the finish line, maybe less, because now we are going to fly even faster. 145 kilometers per hour for Nico Bianchi. So yeah, I think in about 25 minutes, I would say at 10:25 we are done maximum for the race. Sorry, for the winner of the race at least. And they are flying fast. 225 kilometers, 240 for Yannis. And I wonder if we can have a look at Norbert Kiss' camera, maybe the point of view from Norbert, to see what it looks like from the cockpit now. Yeah, he's joining the, so he's joined only the turn point 2 and the windmills. He's in the windmills area, very significant area here of the landscape. And reaching the highest mountains in a few minutes, flying at more than 200 kilometers per hour. And he will go with Mike Zulu in front of him, with Maxim. No, not with Maxim. Mike Zulu is the list. Mateusz Zmuda from Poland. So we will go with him and he will climb, because all of them have stopped here. So I think he will probably stop around here, because you can see a nice ridge and a nice cumulus over this mountain, and it will help him to fly faster towards Shangjiakou village. Awesome view in the GS3. Thank you, Jean-David. Mateusz Zmuda. So that's the pilot who was just in front of Norbert a few seconds ago, that we could see from Norbert's point of view. 2,900 meters, and now you just have to follow the ridge. It's very easy. It's the best ridge that we have here, the one that looks like more or less what we can have sometimes in the Alps. It looks like Les Monges a little bit, if you know the Southern Alps. This is something the pilots know. Very usable for gliding. But I mean, 3,000 meters is already high, okay? In gliding, it's already high. You might need some oxygen for some people, yeah. if you're not used to it. It's mostly at 4,000, 4,500 meters that you start feeling that you need more oxygen usually. It can start from lower. It's always better for the brain to have the oxygen at a lower level than 4,000 meters. Matthäus Muda. Thanks DGT for the landscape. DGT. Michel. Yeah, thanks a lot to him. He's one of the main landscape creator. Did you study airspace if there is any areas flyable anywhere? Yes, so we disabled all airspace for the flight, but the main airspace is Beijing and around Beijing. And then it's difficult to know because the airspace in China is mainly military airspace. So we need to know and to ask the question to Long Fei Yang if how he's able to do those gliding flights, because he's able to do 300 kilometers, 500 kilometers from an airbase that seems to be disaffected northeast of Beijing, not far from where we are now. So we need to ask him how he does it and if it is easy for him to get the flat plans and authorizations from the army, because basically it's like all controlled by the army of the Popular Republic of China, something like this. I think it's called like this. Yeah. So not easy, but so yes, we can fly in this area in real life. We can fly in this area in Beijing, obviously not around above Beijing, like we have done to go to turn point 1 and discover the city. We cannot do that in real life, but in this area we can do that. There is a guy flying in this area, gliders, kind of freely, so it's good. That is something we can do, that's for sure. So we'll see in some years. There are a few articles, but not a lot, about gliding in China. By the way, on the internet, I found some. It was mainly post-war. It was very well developed post-war. Now, China is very much focused on drone flying, just like a lot of countries, obviously. Let me try to find again the articles that I found a few weeks ago on China. Tuck, 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 tuck. Yes, found it. China's sailplane and motor gliders, a review. So there are some articles written from Zhang Ruoying and Ma Luangzhang in Nanjing, from Nanjing in China. And Nanjing, I think, is not too far, right? Nanjing. That's northwest of Shanghai, Nanjing. And they wrote some stuff in 1989 for the OSTIF Congress. OSTIF Congress is like technical congress of gliding that takes place every year, I think. And they discuss about some gliders that were created in China, like the Jfeng 2 between 58 and 64, Jfeng 1, Jfeng 3A, the Qianjin in 1979, sorry. They discuss about winch model. Yeah, I think, yeah, Jfeng was the main manufacturer in China. And the last one he created was the Jfeng 7 in between 1967 and 1971, the production. Then there were a few motor gliders, but I think imported motor gliders. There is Seagull, there is the Petrel, and that's it. So there's one article talking about gliders and motor gliders in China, and another one about gliding activities in China by Zhang Ruiying from the same OSIF Congress in Austria in 1989. And this guy is really discussing about everything around flying in China first, like historically, from the year 300 when they started to look at how eagle flew and so on, to their first findings in aviation, and then discussing the earliest gliding activity. And they say the earliest organized gliding activity was in northwestern part of China, which was called Manchuria at the time, being introduced by a Japanese instructor in 1936. And then the earliest amateur glider pilot in China was a German pilot, Mr. Hausing, who was a consultant in the Europe-Asia Airlines. And then he did a lot of instruction in China and helped doing a lot of stuff there. Then the first man of gliding, they say in China, was Mr. Wei Chao, who learned soaring in 1938 in Germany first, and then he came back to China to teach Chinese pilots. So there was quite a lot of, well, there was some gliding before in China. There's a lot of stuff explained in those articles. And there's even suggestions at the end of the article, which are very interesting, because in this article from 1989, sorry, this Chinese man is giving suggestions on how to promote more effectively gliding. And he says that those suggestions are for consideration for the IGC and OSTIV. And among those suggestions, he says, one thing, try our best to make gliding accepted as one of the events in the Olympic Games. This can help promotion still more. Maybe changing some rules or designing simpler events will help gliding to be welcomed by the ruling body. This is one of the 6 suggestions given by the Chinese man in 1989. And I think we are following this right now. So it's pretty nice to read for us. He promotes spectacular demonstrations. He says we need to promote the sport among young people with new class, like for boys and girls only, precision landing, whatever. So yeah, a lot of examples and stuff in those articles. There are not a lot of articles from gliding in China, but I found some, and those are quite interesting. And hopefully, with the new landscape that we have here, that is released now, and the launch of Condor in China and the sale of Condor in China, hopefully we'll get much more virtual gliding pilots soon coming from Asia and from China. Fingers crossed, because it will bring a lot of pilots to our community if it works, and it will be great, and it will be key if we want to be in the Olympics someday. Janesh Staff, 2,200 meters. And that's where we go from very high ceilings to very low ceilings, much lower ceilings. You see? Very funny. And they are flying like to the start, but they need to go more to the left. We are more than halfway in between the, and actually the split is just between the with the river here. You can see the lake, and then it's kind of split. The mountains are split with a river going from the north to the south right here, and this is where we created another weather zone, and the weather zone is I think 1,300 meters above ground level. We call the weather zone Great Wall of China. Yeah, it's 1,100 meters above ground level. Strong strength, wide width of thermal activity, normal, high flat activity, and 1 to 2.8 of cumulus clouds. To go there, Janesh staff flying very fast, 2,000 meters, and you know they can fly very fast because lower it's very good as well. Like below the cumulus, it's very good. So they don't need to really avoid any of those cumulus clouds. I think Janus is kind of, he needs to do it to because he's too high and he's not going to be able to go below, but might not be the fastest route to do it. We'll see. Because we can fly very fast, very, very fast below. Strong thermals and good ridges. Honestly, small hills, but they are well aligned with the wind as well, so they can fly fast. Oh. Say that again, please, Jean-David, so I can say it. Yeah. So Mark 821 said, at least I'm low enough, so lower than the cloud, low enough to be below the clouds and to see the Great Wall of China. And the Great Wall will start on the left, right here. So behind Mark, but we will see it along the way for a lot of kilometers. They are following the clouds, obviously, and it's the turn of Alex to go from the high ceilings to the low ceilings right here. And it will be very impressive going towards Badaling for the finish. Let's see, 298, 99 kilometers in total, and we have 257 kilometers for Mark Rebuck from the USA. 151 kilometers average. Rob still flying with us at a good speed, almost 400 kilometers. It's very good. Keep pushing. Rob, very good job. The ones in front are really top pilots. Used to fly every day on Condor and flying international competitions on Condor. Question for Sebastian, if you are listening, is there a refly of this flight on FAI servers, please? Do you know that? The answer is probably yes, but why? Comment ça, why? Why? Ah, they are low. Why? Nearly the Alps. No, this is not the comment in real time, okay? No, is there a refly? So there is most probably a refly, but I cannot tell you the time. If it's 24/7 that you can find the server, or if it will be only at specific time. Sorry, I'm blurred, so I'll try to not be blurred again. Thank you. We can set up a refly. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. For all of those who missed the race tonight. Yeah, I think it would be nice to have a refly for the next month. Flying fast, 220 kilometers per hour. And the Great Wall is more to the north side right now, but we'll see it later. No worries, no stress. When we approach Badaling, they will need to cross it at some point anyway. Nice. Oh, and the windmill. Look at that. Flying along the windmill. Nice. Very nice, guys. Enjoy. This is fun as well. A few windmills right here. This is a surprise. When you come at 1,400 meters, just like Maxime, you are jumping just over this, the top of the hill, and then you find yourself flying next to some windmills. Very good flight from you, Maxime, today. Well done. We should have set some Chinese music, Jean-David, in the background for the flight tonight. Let's try that next time. Nice view of the windmills with Maxime. And Nico Bianchi is joining the Great Wall of China. In a few seconds, you can see it on the left, on top of the hills. And you can see the Finnish Badaling as well. RP is for reporting point, and GWOC for Great Wall of China. Let's fly fast. Fast, fast. The wind is blowing from the southeast still. So from the right of Nico. And this is the Discovery flight in China. I hope you enjoy it, Nico. Do you want the flight tomorrow? Yes, please. With pleasure. Pulling above the Great Wall. So obviously, if you know a little bit about the history of the Great Wall, it was built on the highest and steepest mountains, ridges to give defenders the high ground against northern invaders. We're talking about northern invaders earlier at the start of the race, and that's why the emperors moved to Beijing. So there are two parts of this wall. We have the wild wall and the restored wall. So first, when we started the leg, we had a few minutes ago the start of the wild wall. It's ruined, steep, overgrown sections of the Ming Dynasty wall that was built between the 30th, 14th century and 16th century. And from above, it looks like a massive stone dragon snaking along the edge of the cliffs. And now we have the restored wall. It was restored much later in history. We are approaching the reporting point for Nico Bianchi. Approaching Badaling. And you will see right next to Badaling is what they call the Yongqing district. And yeah, 4 years ago in 2022, the mountain range hosted the Winter Olympics, and the alpine skiers were racing down the Chayo A2 mountain right in the valley. Bobsleigh and luge tracks were built right into these slopes. And right now, Condor pilots are racing at Olympic speeds over the exact same terrain. Well done, Nico Bianchi, reaching the reporting point over the Great Wall of China right now. Flying fast as usual, Nico. And this is where we are reaching Badaling. Badaling, the finish line. Badaling, the city, is the most famous and heavily fortified and most visited section of the Great Wall of China in the world. This is where presidents and dignitaries are taken to visit the Great Wall, and this is hopefully maybe one day where we will race in Sailplane Grand Prix in China. That would be the best area to race near the Great Wall of China. That's why they organized the Winter Olympics in 22 here. They are flying very fast to Badaling Airport, and you'll see Badaling Airport in a few seconds. Nico Bianchi, 270 kilometers per hour with some downwind, pushing him towards the finish line. Minimum altitude 560 meters. Mark Rebuck, be careful with the power lines. Be careful with the power lines. Remind me some crazy finish that we had at the VSGP finals. And Badaling Airport, usually bustling with helicopters to take the tourists over the Great Wall. And today is the finish line for the fastest virtual glider pilot of the China Challenge. The finish line for Nico Bianchi from Argentina, next to the Olympic rings. Well done, Nico. Well done, winner of the China Challenge. Congratulations, Nico. Flying very fast. And we can see some power lines indeed, not far from here. 19, never forget. Let's pray for this fortune. Indeed. Oh, yeah. Alexander flying below the power lines. Janesh Staff, 821. Yanes, approaching Badaling finish line, is second on this China Challenge. Well done, Yanes. Followed closely by 821 Mark Rebuck from the United States of America, and Alexander Ehrlich from Germany on fourth place. Well done. Maxim Serafimovic from Germany in Mach 5 flew very well. Maxim, well done. Gongqi, as we say in Chinese, congratulations. Gongchi. Is it possible to fly inside the Olympic rings? I don't think so. Yannis, you can try if you want. But yeah, no, I don't think so, Sebastian, because I flew next to it and maybe in a 13.5 meter class, but I don't think so. The rings are really, really small. Really small compared to the glider. That's a good question. That's a good question. They're flying around the tower that we have here with the Olympic rings. Very cool. I think they're too small. Yeah, yeah, I think so. Great flying, Nico. Well done. Ah, Nico will try. Try it out. Yeah, I know. No, no. You can see it's the size of 2 or 3 rings. No, no, it's good. Nico, well done. Well done, well done. Gongchi. Nico Bianchi, Gongchi. Gongchi. Congratulations. 2-2. Good job. Tibanle. Excellent. I'm doing some Chinese for you as well. I'm trying to do some Chinese. Let's follow the landing with Nico, and then we'll see where are the others. I said at 10:25 Central Eastern Time we will be there, or he will end up in the. He's braking. Max braking. Runway too short. Max braking. Max reverse. Nico, you know that. Alex Holzfilter from the Netherlands. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I think it was very fun to follow for us. Maybe a bit too much of mountains, but I wanted to have the big windmills and the highest peak. So to have both Beijing city, the Forbidden City, and the highest peak, we had to do the leg of almost 130 kilometers to go there. So yeah, it was not easy to decide if we had to do this one or something else. We have a loop challenge just around the Great Wall of China already. It's I think 7 or 8 turn points to do, and then a landing and finish line in Balaling, kind of the same arrival to do. So it's what we imagine if we want to have a Sailplane Grand Prix someday around the Great Wall of China and have very good footage with a view on Beijing on one side and the Ming Tombs where we started from in Dingaling, and then on the other side the Great Wall of China and Badaling airport. That is I think very convenient to welcome any Sailplane Grand Prix race. Landing directly on the apron is definitely a power move. Yeah, but Nico is a professional pilot, you know. That's why. Alex in Alpha Echo X-Ray. Well done, Alex. Reaching Badaling. First time in this scenery, the windmill actually facing the wind this time, and the finish at the Great Wall of China were really nice. Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much. A wing show. Look at the runway. It's really good enough to have a gliding event there someday. If we find the resources and the support locally to do it, I think it would be the best place to have a gliding event, with obviously probably with self launchers of or FES gliders would be really nice. Yeah. So yeah, that's why as well we created the landscape. We only had the option. Basically, it takes a lot of time to create a landscape, so there are lots of landscapes to be created, as we said. So okay, we're like, where to create it? Our friends from China working in the China Soaring project are from Beijing. So we're like, okay, why not? And then we already quite a few years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, we spotted different places in China that would be interesting for gliding. And among the places where the north of Beijing and Beijing, with the Great Wall of China, to have obviously the view of what would be very recognizable for the public around the globe. So that's why we decided to develop the landscape here. And Michel DGT has been able to create something really amazing for us, because we have, well, with as well the help of Condor and this new version, we have now the windmills facing the wind, indeed, and the Great Wall of China. Before, it would have been very difficult to create the 3D of the Great Wall of China, like to have the structure of it and so on. So now it's really good. We don't only have the 2D view, the satellite view of the Great Wall, but we have it in 3D as well. And it's really amazing to be able to fly above it. Yeah, well done, Norbert. Do some left and right. Red Bull Air Race for you, Norbert, now. Flying well. Norbert, always very consistent. He's flown super well, very well in the Virtual SGP final as well, Norbert. Very, very well. Let me have a look again at his final results for Norbert. News. And I think Norbert was on ninth place on the one-shot final. But before that, he ended up on the 7th place overall before the one-shot final, which was very, very good. Really a really good pilot, Norbert. Best pilot from Hungary. Norbert Kiss. 150 kilometers, and he will join the reporting point. We can continue the race with Norbert, because he will land in about 5 minutes from now, maybe less, and we can have a view of the Great Wall of China. Mike Zulu is there as well. Mike Zulu in front of him. I should have put some wind from the north, actually, so that the pilots are more flying on the north part of the ridges here and flying closer to the Great Wall. Maybe that's what we should have done. It's very funny to see and to think about this. Think about the Great Wall and how they build it, why they build it, and it's very significant to see it, I think. And Mike Zulu is joining the reporting point. Is that correct? No, not yet. Not yet. Sorry. Norbert Kiss. You can see battling on the left. He can't fly that fast. It's not that easy for Norbert. He's enjoying the view. He's just flying at 170 kilometers per hour. And that's it. Really nice. Well done. Weather was fine. Condition may be a bit too strong, but it's hard to get exactly the right mix. Yeah, it's because it was 300 kilometers. Because as I said, I wanted you to have a look at the highest peak and to have a look at the city of Beijing, and we don't like to have like a 3-hour race for the live streaming and so on. Usually you try to have 130 to 2 hours of racing. It was 2 hours, 1 hour and 53 minutes, I think, for the winner tonight. So that's the maximum we do for the live streaming in real life. So to do that, you need to have some strong thermals at some point. Yeah, I think it's good just to discover and fly fast. Exactly, Sebastian. That was the aim of the game. Exactly. It was easy to get trapped if you got too low. I was too low going into turn point 2, left the thermal before turn point 2 because of traffic problems and paid dearly for it. Yeah. That's what we could see. As Sebastian said, when we reached turn point 2, everyone seemed to be low. People were between 2,000 and 2,500 meters, and everyone seems to be low compared to the hills that were quite flat as well next to the windmills. So I'm not surprised. And when I didn't fly the task, Mark, who is your usual task setter, didn't fly the task because we didn't have time to do it. But I flew with some air start. You can move the air start in Condor to have a look at the task and what you're doing. So you're just moving the air start to see what's the conditions, what's the ceiling, if it's going to be feasible or not, or flyable or not. And by flying around and trying out moving the settings everywhere on the different weather areas, weather zones, then you can find something to be just below 2 hours, but that's it. Indeed, weaker condition might have been too long and we couldn't have seen everything. Yeah, exactly. And even I would have liked to go to Mignon. I wanted to start in Mignon to the north east, but we might have missed the Ming Tombs. I thought about having the Ming Tombs for the reporting point as well, but yeah, it's far from Badaling, and I really wanted to finish in Badaling to explain what happened with the Winter Olympics and why Badaling is the most visited part of the Great Wall of China and so on, and as well the potential of Badaling and the airport in this valley, which is a valley north of Beijing. So you have no constraint from the airspace of Beijing. You are really free, I think, apart from tourist events, but I think it's probably the best airfield where we can have a Grand Prix or a gliding contest someday. There is one or two other airfields in this valley. There is a military airfield as well northeast of this valley, I think, as well to protect Beijing, more to the northeast of this of Badaling. I've seen it in real life, so that's why I can say it. But it's not in you cannot take off from it in Condor. So you need to fly from Badaling, go to the north, and you'll find it somehow. That's it. Yeah, the landscape is quite big, so there are still a lot of parts to discover. Menin is a really good airfield, as I said. So the one that is more to the northeast of the landscape, because you have a lot of parts of the Great Wall of China all around Mignon. Well done, Mateusz, Smuda, Mike Zulu, well done, and Norbert Kiss is just behind as well. He's reached the reporting point. And you can see the Great Wall of China and why it is visited here. You see, it's not too high. You don't need to climb on top of the mountain to be there. I'm sure you can walk a long part on the Great Wall of China here. It's very cool. Very cool. Thank you for the images. Maybe you can follow the arrival with Norbert with the point of view to see if he's looking at the tower as well from the inside. So yeah, Mignon, is really nice. A lot of portions. And on the landscape, when you download it, you will see the parts with the Great Wall, so you don't have to look at it and guess where it is. You have some, it's in dark. You will see dark lines going kind of erratically in the mountains. And those are the parts where you can visibly see the Great Wall of China in real life and in Condor. So now you know where it is located. Then Dingling is where we started, but it's an helicopter airfield near the Ming Tombs. Then we have Beijing Capital Airfield, which is the major global international airport of Beijing, northeast between the Forbidden City and Mignon. We have Jijiao, airfield, which is military airfield that we've seen
40.
just after turn point 1. We have Daqing and Nanzhou south of Beijing for about 50 kilometers, I would say 45, 50 kilometers. While we follow Norbert's arrival, we have Zhuozhou and Dinqing to the southwest of Beijing. Those are the airports, and there is one northwest that is Zhangjiakou as well. Well done, Norbert, for completing the task. Gongqi, Norbert. Congratulations. Well done. You can see the dumping the water ballast that we have in the wing. Well, it was a great flight to discover the China Wall, the China landscape, and the Great Wall of China and Beijing. There is still a lot to discover. There is already, so as I said, the loop challenge ready for you, and there will be other races probably, and we will create tasks, very small tasks, different tasks for the Chinese pilots, so that they can train. And hopefully in a few months we can share with you some numbers with the number of games downloaded in China and so on, and we can start to see some Chinese pilot joining the events. Two things to say. Thank you. Happy New Year. And in Chinese, we say 新年快乐. Happy New Year. Happy New Year of the horse. If you live in China and you are watching the video, you have probably seen my face on one of the video, because I've done a video with a few words in Chinese to wish the Happy New Year, because I've been asked to do it by our friends from the China Soaring Project, and some explanation about SGP and about virtual gliding. And hopefully this will be widely shared as well, the China Challenge in China in the coming days. That's the plan. Thank you to Michel, first of all, for the landscape. Thank you to Sébastien for the servers and setting this up. Mark didn't work on this task, but it's always good to say thank you to him, because he's doing a lot of work for us and on Condor. Thank you to Timothée when he's able to join us. Always great to have you. Thank you to Jean-David with us in the background doing the live streaming. Thank you to all of the pilots joining us tonight, and I hope you will all enjoy flying on this new landscape. Let's keep in touch. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the social media, and let's keep in touch. Next race is for now scheduled on the 20th of March for a loop challenge around the Great Wall of China, but we'll see if we change the plans soon to do live streaming or not. Thank you so much for having joined us, and see you soon. I'll say it again in Chinese. Happy New Year. 新年快乐. Thank you. Bye.